Welcome again, Aries. It's August 2019. Dadhichi here from astrology.com.au. Let's get the show on the road and take a look at the chart for you throughout this month, with that strong focus starting in this fifth house for you. A very powerful new moon also here with Mars, the Sun and Venus, indicating your heightened creative and amorous nature, at least in the first part of the month. We see there, as the moon is transiting out into this sixth house, a few more work-related issues, and perhaps this creative impulse that you have will be focused predominantly here on work. You see there the trine aspect to Saturn, South Node, and Pluto that we talked about last month, which was instrumental in those very powerful eclipses. But here also we see the impulsive nature of Mars, your ruling planet. Fortunately, it has some nice, what I'd call a daisy chain trine aspect to Jupiter here, which, along with these other planets, look at all these outer planets, still in retrogression here in the upper part of your horoscope, which has a lot to do with your studies, your work, and also some of your spiritual activities. Take a look here around the 7th, the deeper, I guess, psychological implications here. We have those square aspects which can make those couple of days a little bit difficult, 7th and 8th. But then I think a better period starting for you around the 9th, when we get this lunar-Jupiter conjunction, what we call Kesari Yoga. It's very, very nice, very optimistic, brings with it some buoyant sort of feelings, and a more adventurous spirit being there in the sign of Sagittarius. Here you'll notice that creative energy that you have will also be punctuated by the movement of Mercury, which is here in your 4th house as the month starts. Pardon me. So you're working on your domestic circumstances up until the 12th, when Mercury moves into this creative zone as well. A lot of communication will be going on there, a lot of thinking, and this, as I said at the outset, is always very, very nice if you're looking to further your emotional and romantic circumstances. The moon moves through this 10th house around the 12th and 13th, then into the 11th house. The 10th house is your work. Probably some serious, boring stuff going on there with the transit against Saturn, and then a more intensified aspect with Pluto, and then a social element here, but one that could be a little bit fiery as it opposes Mars. The low-key periods are often when the moon moves into this 12th house, and you probably need that after the opposition to your ruler Mars. Idealistic Neptune has its influence on the lunar body around the 17th and 18th, as you can see here, with far better open and outward looking energy after the 19th. Here you see the moon moves through your natal sun sign of Aries at this time. At the same time, Mars moves into your 6th house. Now that can have a few different implications there, and I'd be keeping my eye out on when the moon makes contact with Uranus here, which is already in a trine aspect to Mars. That takes place after, around the 20th to the 21st here, and that's a very strong influence, along with Venus entering into that 6th house. I'll just put that on hold for a moment. I think this is fairly significant. This 6th house has a lot to say about your working environment and the people that you associate with professionally. And this shows a lot more energy and drive in this area. Venus here is not necessarily welcome, because you can see that the sign of Virgo is actually what we coined the debilitation point. So here the conjunction with Uranus destabilizes your practical affairs, your mental and emotional state. There could be some problems, even though these are trine aspects. That square takes place around the 23rd. So I think that's likely the time when you may have some problems. All of that 5th house energy shifting after the 23rd, as you can see here, back into this 6th house, along with Mars and Venus. So your work, your health, your debts, all sorts of health issues will be looked at this time. Some people actually make much more efforts in working on improving their health, their diet, and that sort of thing. Mercury will also move into this position very late in the month. Maybe, let's just keep an eye on that. It might not do that until next month. Here, the position of the moon with the North Node causes some worries for you in your domestic sphere. This Rahu, or the North Node, is a very shadowy point. Have a look at the opposition here to Saturn, to Pluto. That can make your emotions a little bit glum, to say the least. I did also miss the full moon, which was during that period of the 11th house transit around the middle of the month that we mentioned. That is going to showcase that part of your life. And here we see, again, this 6th house takes over from the 5th house as the month progresses, so that all of your energies shift from what I'd call a rather amorous, adventurous, speculative sort of energy to this much more serious, routine and work and health orientated vibe. You see here the aspects from Saturn, Pluto and Uranus are quite good, so this supports everything here, excepting for the fact that Jupiter, the expansive, excessive planet, may cause you to be doing too much, too soon, with too little resources. So time yourself, make sure that you are in a position to be able to conclude and do the work that you've set for yourself by having a really good plan. And the 6th house has a lot to do with planning as well. Do subscribe to us, and also don't forget to check out the monthly readings we have there to accessorize this one at astrology.com.au. And of course, I'm here if you'd like a personal reading. I often prefer that. This is more or less just scratching the surface. And I'm here. You can contact me, leave a note here, or you can send me an email at dadhichi@astrology.com.au, and we can fix up a time to do a more personal reading for you. Till next month, take care. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye now.